So, good morning, beautiful goddesses. How are you? We are so grateful, blessed, and honored each and every one of you chose to be here today. We are so excited. My soul sister Connie and I have a very special guest with us today. So, Miss Lori Kehoe, welcome to Soul Sister Adventure. She is in the car.
Yeah, we
I
always
was going to say, can I get a ride? Can I get a ride with you
Yeah.
guys? Is that a thing?
There's always room for you.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a big personality. I take a lot of space. So
Come on in.
So are we.
Yeah.
Come on in. So, Lori, just thanks so much for spending some time with us today. On Soul Sister Adventures, our commitment is just to, awaken humanity and women and share stories of transformation from the guts to the glory, right? To the muck and
Yeah.
the muck and the miracles. So we're just really grateful and honored to have you here today. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here. So
So the big question we have for you today, Miss Lori, is who is Lori Kehoe?
If I knew that, I'd just spill it all out there. So, right? I'd just pour it all over you. That's such a great question, right? And I used to spend time answering it about, well, I'm a mortgage banker and I'm a cop wife and I'm a softball mom and I'm all those things, but that has nothing to do with who I am. Really, those are the things that I do.
Right.
I have been spending a lot of time learning and discovering for myself who I am. And it's quite a journey. So I am a loud, passionate, easily excitable, openly proud to be who I am, no longer apologizing for the space that I occupy woman. And I get to share that with people.
Yeah.
That's who I am. Yeah.
I love that. That's so true.
Love that. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that journey that got you to this profound space and place.
Yeah. So I kind of have to go down the long path of it, and I'll do it as quickly as I can. I used to say thrice. I'm a four-time, I don't know how to say thrice, college dropout. Okay. Small town girl, went to college, had a little too much fun, dropped out of school, did what every small town girl does. I went back home, I married my next boyfriend, and I started my life to become a soccer mom. That was my journey, I thought. About 10 years in, with about 7 years of infertility, not getting to the life that I thought I had wanted, I was out. I was done. I needed something different. My first husband was an amazing man, still is, just not the right man for me. Through that process of discovering who I was in my early 30s, I met my husband, now Thomas, through my volunteer work with Habitat for Humanity in St. Charles County. On that journey, I found a path to God that I didn't know was missing from my life. I found my path to my husband and our now 13-year-old daughter, Lila, who was a late in life shock of a lifetime.
Amazing power in her own right.
She's pretty great. Yes, she's pretty great. If I can survive the teenage years, we're going to be okay, right? It also led me through a 10-year nonprofit career that I absolutely stumbled upon by accident, and discovered that I am extremely passionate and I can throw myself wholly into things that I love. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't understand through that journey that I truly have gifts to bring to the table with things like that. Through that journey, through my time with Habitat, I allowed myself to become very unhealthy in ways that women do, right? We care for everyone and everything around us instead of ourselves. And my weight was the highest it had ever been. My knees and my hips and my feet hurt every day. And the words I use now is I abused myself with food, thinking it was making me feel better, when in reality, it was the cycle of making myself feel worse. When 2020 became the thing that it became, I realized at that point that my family had suffered financially for many, many years for me to have a career that I loved. And it was time for me to step into the for-profit world so that I could provide differently for our situations. And I joke often that I'm a cop wife, so I couldn't count on him to make any money. So it was all up to me to go and do that. So that's kind of our jovial way of being. And my husband is a truly amazing partner, and he threatens a lot to retire, retire me, baby. That's what he always tells me. So really a good situation for us. All of that to say, when I stepped out of the world of Habitat for Humanity, which I'm still totally in love and passionate about, I had decided at that point in my life that it was worth investing in myself, at least a little, for the first time ever. And I did that by purchasing a tool that allowed me to help my body become healthier and release weight. That tool, some people, doesn't matter what some people say. I chose a tool that was right for me to get myself on the right journey. During that journey, when I started to release the weight, I realized if I didn't fix what was going on up here, the physical piece of it would only be temporary. And I was not okay with that. I think sometimes it's because I'm stubborn and cheap and I wasn't going to spend the money on the tool and waste it. No matter what it was, whether it was divine or not, I knew it was time to make real change. And boy, oh boy, did I make some change. But that's how I got to you girls, right? I stepped into my own power. And I met this amazing group of people through NLP.
That's right.
And here we sit. And this is my favorite part of this, right? I didn't see enough value in myself to even feel like I deserved to feel broken. That's a lot of steps, right? Like I didn't even think I was worth feeling bad about myself. That's low. That's low, low, low. And going through the journey, going through the steps of working on my mindset and meeting people who, for example, Connie, who had this traumatic major event. Like I was sitting in the room with people who had real problems. I didn't even feel worthy of feeling bad about what I was feeling bad about, right? I now have these tremendous tools in my toolbox. Some days I forget to open the toolbox. And on those days, I count on the women in my life, like the two of you, to remind me to open the damn box. Open the damn box, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I know you've talked about this, right? Like occasionally I just want to call you and complain and just let me complain for a couple minutes. And then when I'm done, remind me to open the damn box.
Yeah. What do we call that, Connie? Ordering a what?
We're getting a dump permit.
Yeah.
I knew it was a dump truck. I couldn't remember the term. Yeah.
Yeah, dump permit. Like I just want permission to just dump and get it out. And then you can remind me all the tools. Yeah. But I just need to get it out.
That's right.
Wow.
And, I am so fortunate, right? Like some days I get to Connie and I just wrap myself around her. Like I literally just suck her energy into my being and I need it. I need it so much. And I get to remind myself that it is okay for me to feel that way. And it's also okay for me to need and ask for help and then receive it. That's a big deal for me.
I think it's a big deal for all women, especially mothers.
Yeah.
We're so used to give. And not just mothers, working mothers in particular, sharing the financial, I don't want to say burden, responsibilities of the home. And we have had to develop, really out of necessity, a stronger masculine side, energy side, and our feminine side is still there and needed. And that's the receive, we receive. And I think that you're speaking to so many women, Lori, because it's, I know they're still there, in and out of there. Right. And
I find it funny that through this journey, so it's been just over 2 years since I refer to my tool that I bought myself, because I call it that. It's a tool. It's simply a tool. From the day that I bought my tool, it's been just over 2 years. My body began to get healthy right away. The mind didn't come with it. I had to create that, I had to create that. I had to make the work. I had to do the work. I had to focus on the things. I had to be intentional with every single thing that went into my mouth, every thought that came out, every word and action that came with it. From the time that I got that tool to where we sit right now has been a tremendous financial and time commitment into myself. And 2 years ago, me would have never, ever seen the value in doing so. And one of my mantras is, I had to be her so I could be me.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Lori,
funny.
thank you so much for having the courage, right, to share the journey. And I hear so much passion and compassion, and grit and the glory. And I'm curious, I want to hear, I want to even dive deeper, right?
Go, dig.
We're hungry. Our listeners are hungry. So what do you think was the difference that made the difference when you said yes? Because I'm going to assert that was not your, you already said it. You had to be her so you could be who you are now. How, and what was the difference that had you take that step?
So as much as I am not a fan of the fact that it all came down to the money, it really did come down to the money for us, right? We lived in a paycheck to paycheck world where that was just kind of the life that we were in. We were the do-gooders. One of the things that I used to say was we were destined for destitute because we were the volunteers. We were the helpers is the term. When I stepped into the for-profit world, I made the decision to spend some of the money on me. Mm-hmm. And like I said, my husband's an amazing partner, right? I'm like, babe, I think I want to do this. He's like, yeah, do that. And then when I started my NLP journey, I'm like, babe, I think I want to do this. He's like, yeah, do that. He didn't care about the money, because in reality, that always works itself out. He knew that I was worth investing in. The people that were around me believed I was worth investing in. It was me all along that never prioritized myself enough to put myself in the paycheck to paycheck piece of things. Because we all know you make it happen. If Lila's softball needed to be paid for, Lila's softball got paid for. It wasn't like, oh, we just don't have the money for that. Had I seen myself as a priority sooner, maybe that would have changed sooner, except I was on a path I didn't know I was looking for.
Oh, that is so juicy, right? So what I heard you say was, number one, you made a decision. And number two, you invested in yourself. And that was the difference that made the difference. Okay. Everyone else said yes to you and for you. It was ultimately you that had to own that. Yes.
Yes.
Breathe that in, ladies. That is.
So I will say, I am a warrior. I will fight for anyone. In the past, for anyone but myself. And I've learned that I am worth the battle as well. And that is a big, big challenge for me on many, many days. In the past, up until recently.
And I was going to say, you're still in the, if you're the warrior analogy, you're still in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I know you and I have had conversations, because I think, I have Lori on this pedestal, she could do anything.
Connie's my biggest fan, for sure.
And I said to her, whenever you don't remember who you are, please borrow my view, because I had this fantastic view of the beauty and power of who you are. And when you forget, just say, I'm going to put on Connie glasses and see myself through her eyes, because I just think you're Wonder Woman. I mean, Lori can fix cars. I mean, she's seriously. And, anyway, I could go on.
I am the Jill of all trades, right? I've been in sales for years. I worked at General Motors for years. And when I was with Habitat, I've personally swung a hammer on 59 homes in St. Charles County. It's a thing. However, master of none is the end of that statement, right? That nobody ever completes. Master of none. I can do things, a few things.
You do a lot. Yeah. And the courage
It's
that
so
like, oh, I
funny.
could do that. Like the courage and confidence, and so I'm like, I'm going to borrow that. And
Connie, the way I see it, you're going to pay somebody to fix it anyway. You might as well at least try.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Lori, I would love to hear, how has this new discovery for yourself, and your boldness and your courage, to own your worth and who you are and your divine gifts, how has this transformed or impacted or altered your relationship with your daughter? I think our listeners would love to hear, because I know when I became a mom, like I had a particular view, and then as I would go through my journey, it would just be like my brain would go,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then of course I see some of the regrets, and then I get to clean that up, and then I saw some of the, glory. So what have you experienced as being a mom? Because I know as enlightened women raising enlightened children, there is a duty and a responsibility
And a challenge.
and a
And a
challenge.
challenge.
So what have you seen for yourself?
So as I was going through this, right, like a big part of my mindset piece is that this is not about weight. This is about health. And Lila, my beautiful baby girl, is built just like her mother. We are solid rock. And even when we're at our healthiest, the scale doesn't show a number that the world would think a scale should show. And we talk about that a lot, right? And making healthy decisions and all things in moderation and all the things. However, she watched me watch a scale, which I hate. I hate because it's just a guide. It's just literally another tool for us to measure with, right? Except she was watching the measurement without the mental clarity of this just being a tool. So that became a huge talking point for us, right? About numbers, just a number, clothing sizes are just pattern sizes, like they're all different. An 8 here is not an 8 there, and all the things, right? So that was a huge piece of the talking point for the journey. And you guys know when you go through NLP, you learn new language, you learn new phrases. For what purpose? Let me just tell you, that is the side eye button. For what purpose? It's just, Mom, don't ask me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't always have a purpose unless it does, right? So I say to Lila that I'm going to push one of her buttons, because when we talk about the things, when she gets caught in the cesspool of teenage girls, when she gets stuck in the mindset of they're being mean to me, or I'm feeling left out, or I'm not happy with the way I look, or whatever those things are, when I bring in the language, when I bring in those tools, sometimes it's received well. Sometimes it's not. I get to choose to believe that it's all settling in. And sometimes I get to hear her say to a friend, for what purpose? And I know it's there. And I know it's there. It's a win, right? It's a huge win.
Big win. Yeah.
Win. Oh, I know moms everywhere are just, their hearts are exploding with that story, Lori, because that is the jam. We think, it's like, wah, 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 and then all of a sudden.
And then you hear it like from another room, right? You're like,
as wisdom, as like she's invoking wisdom on one of her
she
friends.
Heard me. Yes. And, for what purpose is really like, it's the one, right? Like with my husband complaining about work and I'm gonna, for what purpose, and I literally heard her say it to a friend, and it was just like, it's working and it's worth it. And it's all of those things. And I got to tell you, I very recently had a proud mom moment. Lila is dealing with some really grown up things. A peer at school whom she is not friends with, whom she has butted heads with a whole bunch, right, is cutting herself. And Lila overheard a conversation. And she came to me and we talked through it, and we reached out to the school, We talked to the people that needed to be put in touch with the girl's parents, and all of the actions happened. And she said to me in that very hard conversation, nobody wants to tell their mom. But baby, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
Wow.
That is one of my most proud moments.
Okay,
sure.
this is when we get out the tissue.
I know. I know.
Yeah. What a beautiful.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, I acknowledge you, Lori, for being the type of mom that your daughter felt was a safe and sacred space. I know what it took for you to be with her during that and to take the steps necessary to, really create a safe environment for this other child and know that they are loved and treasured and held and that there will be, support for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we do have one final question for Miss Lori.
Okay.
We would love to hear future Lori. Who are you creating yourself to be? What can we be listening for you?
Oh, you should have given me time to prepare for that one.
Oh no.
Future Lori.
There's no wrong answers, right? Because you decide.
Yeah, you get to decide.
Connie, that was unnecessary roughness. So future Lori. Okay.
Wait, do we have a flag on the play?
One of the things that my family, and when I say my family, we call ourselves the Kehoe trio, right? So it's Thomas, my husband, and Lila and I. We're this tight-knit little threesome. One of the things that we have been working on is a brand of positivity, and it is called You Decide, with a period at the end, because ultimately, don't you decide?
Amen.
How you think, how you feel, how you act, all the things, right? So future me is working with my family to spread the seeds of positivity throughout, to women, to men, to children, whatever that may be. I'm a mortgage banker. That's not real positive. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. That is my means to an end at the moment. Yeah. And I love what I do. I love helping families finance the American dream. Truly a passion of mine. Housing is something that's very near and dear to my heart. However, my voice is big and it has a job to do. And I'm working on discovering the method with which it will be done.
I love it. Well, we look forward to seeing and hearing and experiencing more of You Decide from the Kehoe trio. That's a mouthful.
That's us. Kehoe trio.
I love that.
Connie, do you have any final questions for our amazing guest today?
I just want to say thank you for being who you are in my life and who you are for really the world. Lori is a safe place to ask any, like when I say any question, I mean like all the crazy ones. Like
I will talk openly about anything. That is true. There's no topic that is taboo for me. That's true.
Yes. So those like weird, awkward, like body questions, and I'm in the process of releasing, weight also, and so like we have like weird body questions, and she's like, she's been through this journey, and so yeah. So thank you for being such a bright light in my world and the world, and for sharing your family with me and you with everyone. So thank you.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, that completes our beautiful session with Miss Lori. I hope for our listeners that her story touched, moved, and inspired you, that you can, feel your way through your journey as Lori has and get the transformation and the worth that you are worth and worthy. And then see the fruits of that transpire not only into her daughter, but to her family, and now this mission that they are on together. So you decide, and we will see you on the other side. Love you. Mwah.